Welcome back to Tech Stack for all you tech enthusiasts. This is part 4 of our React 19 series. In this video, we cover routing in React. Routing decides which page or component shows on the screen. We use the React Router package for this. React Router is a library that helps us handle routing in React apps. Open your browser and type React Router in the search bar. Open the first link from the search results. It redirects to the React Router official site. Once the page loads, click on the Docs link. Click on Declarative in the Docs menu. On the next page, you find the installation guide. Copy the npm command for React Router. Open your terminal and run the installation command for React Router. The package installed successfully. Now, let's open and check the package.json file. You can see the React Router entry in package.json. The version is 7.13.0. Now, import Browser Router in app.jsx. Browser Router is a component that enables routing in a React app. It listens to URL changes and shows the correct page or component. In JSX, use Browser Router with opening and closing tags. Now, import routes from React Router. Routes is a container that holds all your route definitions. Use routes with opening and closing tags inside Browser Router. Now, import route from React Router. Route defines a path and a component to show for that path. Now, add a route tag with its path and element attributes. In the path, give a slash. The path in a route tells React Router which URL shows this component. Now, provide the element for the route. The element is the React component that shows when the path matches. Add an h1 tag in the element and write dashboard. We can provide a component name or HTML directly in the element. Now, make the route a self-closing tag. Now, copy the route tag. Use it to create another route. In the new route, set the path to user. In the element, show user. Now, copy the route tag again. Use it to create another route. In the element, show about. In the new route, set the path to about. Now, run the command npm run dev in your terminal. It is running on localhost 5173. Now, let's test the routing in the browser. You can see, by default, it is showing the dashboard. Now, change the route to user. You will see it shows the user. Now, change the route to about. You will see it shows the about page. Routing is working perfectly. If the user provides a route that does not exist, we will now handle that case. Now, copy a route tag. Use it for undefined routes. Set its path to /* for undefined routes. In the element, set the text to not found. Now, test in the browser. Enter a route that does not exist. You will see the not found page. You can see the not found is displayed when a user enters a route that does not exist. Now, we want to redirect to user when the user enters a route that does not exist. We will use Navigate for this. Navigate is a component that redirects the user to another route automatically. In the Navigate component, set the to attribute to user. So, when a user enters a route that does not exist, they are redirected to the user page. Import Navigate from React Router as well. Now, test it in the browser. Enter a route that does not exist. You will be redirected to the user page. You can see it redirects to the user page successfully. Now, import Link from React Router. Link is a component that lets us navigate between routes without reloading the page. Inside Browser Router, add a link component. Set the text of the link to dashboard. Add the to attribute to the link and set its value to /. Now, create another link component. Set the text of the new link to user and set the to attribute to user. Add one more link component. Set the text of the new link to about. Set the to attribute to about. Now, test the links in the browser. You can see, on each link click, the corresponding page is displayed without reloading. Now, we move the links into a separate component. Now, create a new component file named header.jsx. Now, create a function named header. Inside the function, return a fragment using opening and closing tags. Use export default to make this component available in other files. Now, open app.jsx. Copy all the link. Paste them inside the header component. Now, in app.jsx, import the header component. Now, use the header component with a self-closing tag inside browser router. Now, test in the browser. Nothing is showing. It seems we forgot something. Let's check the code carefully. Oops, we forgot to import link in the header component. Let's import link from React Router. Now, import outlet from React Router as well. Outlet is used to render the match child route inside a parent route. Now, use outlet as a self-closing tag in your JSX. Now, test in the browser. You can see the header links are showing. All errors are now fixed. Now, we will make the header UI better using an external CSS file. Create a new CSS file named navbar.css. In navbar.css, we will add classes for styling the navbar. Now, let's import navbar.css into the header component. Let's add a nav tag in the header component. Add a div inside the nav tag. In navbar.css, add a navbar class. Add display flex. Display flex arranges items in a row or column and makes alignment easier. Add justify content center. It centers the items horizontally inside the container. Add align items center. It centers the items vertically inside the container. Add padding 0px 10px. It adds space of 0 pixels on top and bottom and 10 pixels on left and right. Add background color black. It sets the background color of the navbar to black. Now, open header.jsx. Add class name navbar to the nav tag. Now, place all the link components inside the nav tag. Now, test it in the browser. You will see the navbar styled with a new CSS. You can see the navbar is styled. Now, we will apply some additional styles in navbar.css. Add class name logo to the div inside the navbar. Now in navbar.css, add logo class. Add font size 22px. It sets the size of the text to 22 pixels. Add font weight bold. It makes the text bold. Add color white. It sets the text color to white. Add height 4 em. It sets the height of the logo container to 4 em units. Inside the logo div, add the text React 19. Now, test in the browser. You can see React 19 displayed in the navbar with the applied styles. Inside the nav tag, add one more div. We will place the links inside this div and apply class to it. Now, format the code for a better look. Inside the new div, add class name navlink. We will apply styles to navlink in navbar.css. Open navbar.css and add a navlink class. Add display Flex. It arranges the links in a row. Add gap, 25px. It adds 25 pixels of space between each link. Now, open header.jsx. Place all the links inside the div with class name navlink. Now, test it in the browser. You will see the links spaced nicely with a 25px gap. Format the code for better readability. Now, open navbar.css and add a nav item class. We will apply this class to each link. Add text decoration, none. It removes the underline from the links. Add color, gray. It sets the link text color to gray. Add font size, 18px. It sets the size of the link text to 18 pixels. Add transition, 0.3s. It makes style changes, like color, happen smoothly over 0.3 seconds. Open header.jsx. Apply class name nav item to each link. Now, test in the browser. You can see the links are styled with gray color, no underline, and smooth transitions. Now, we will cover nested navigation in React Router. Nested navigation means having routes inside other routes, so a parent route can render child routes inside it. You can see in this example, company is the parent route, and employees and departments are child routes. Now, we will create 3 components. One for company, one for employees, and one for departments. First, create a component named company. Next, create a component named employees. Now, create a component named departments. Now, create a function named company. Now, return JSX from the company component. Now use export default so we can import the company component in other files. Similarly, for departments, create a function named departments. Return JSX inside it and export it as default. Now, open app.jsx and create a new route for the company component. Use path company for the new route. In the route element, we will use the company component. But first, we need to import first. In the route element, use the company component with a self-closing tag. Now, open header.jsx and add a new link for the company page. Set the text of the new link to company. Set the to attribute of the link to company. Test it in the browser. You will see the new company link in the navbar. Now, change the company route to use opening and closing tags instead of a self-closing tag. Now, add child routes inside the company route. Now, add one more child route inside the company route. The first child route will have path employees. The second child route will have path departments. Now, we will import the employees component. Employees component is not showing an import. We may have made a mistake. Let's check the employees component file. Oops, the employees component file is empty. Let's quickly copy and paste the code from the departments component and rename it to employees. Now, open app.jsx and import the employees component. Also, import the departments component as well. Scroll down to the routes, and in the employees route, set the element to the employees component using a self-closing tag. Similarly, for the department's route, set the element to the department's component using a self-closing tag. Now, open the department's component. Set its JSX to display the text departments. Similarly, open the employees component. Set its JSX to display the text employees. Open the company component. Set its JSX to display the text company. Now, test in the browser. Nothing is showing. Let's inspect the elements in the browser to see what the error is. You can see the error. Absolute route path employees nested under path company is not valid. An absolute child route path must start with the combined path of all its parent routes. We have to remove the leading slash from the child routes. Now, let's remove the leading slash from the child routes. Now, test it again in the browser. The error should be fixed. Now, we will add the employees and departments links inside the company component. Now, import link from React Router in the company component. Now, add the link components inside the JSX. In the link, set the to attribute to employees. Now, copy and paste the link one more time to create the second link. In the second link, set the to attribute to departments. Now, set the link text accordingly. The first link text should be employees, and the second link text should be departments. Now, test in the browser. You can see both links showing in the company component route. Now, click each link to check that the route changes accordingly. You can see the route is working fine and changes accordingly, but the component HTML is not loading. To fix this, we have to use outlet in the company component. Now, let's import outlet from React Router. Outlet is a placeholder in a parent route that renders the child route components. It tells React Router where to display nested route content. Now, test it again in the browser. The child route's employees and departments should display correctly inside the company component. The link UI is not good. Let's open style.css and create a class named company link. Add font size 24px inside the company link class. It sets the link text size to 24 pixels. Add padding 10px inside the company link class. It adds 10 pixels of space inside the link. Now, add class name company link to both links in the company component. Now, test it in the browser. You should see both links styled with a new company link class. Now, let's discuss dynamic routes in React Router. Dynamic routes allow us to create routes with variable parts, like IDs, so the same route can handle multiple pages. Now, open employees.jsx and create a constant EMP data. This will store sample employee data for our dynamic routes. Inside EMP data, add an object with impid 111 and name John. Now, copy the first object and add one more record. Now, use the map function on EMP data to display each record in JSX. For example, show name for each employee. We will use h1 tag to display each employee's name inside the map function. Now, test in the browser. You can see each employee's name displayed inside h1 tag. Now, import link from React Router in employees. Now, add a link inside the JSX of employees. Inside the link, display the employee's name. Now, remove the h1 tag and only keep the link displaying the employee's name. Now, remove any extra spaces, and fix incorrect syntax in the JSX so the link renders properly. Now, test in the browser. You can see 2 links displayed for the employees. Now, create a new component named Employee. This component will display the details of a single employee using a dynamic route. Now, create a function named Employee. Now, return fragment. Inside this fragment, we will add JSX to display the employee details. Now, export the employee component as default so we can use it in other files. Now, show the text employee inside the JSX. Now, open app.jsx and import the employee component. Now, we will add a dynamic route for employee. Now, copy an existing route and paste it. We will modify it to create the dynamic route for employee. For the route path, we will use employee /: followed by the parameter ID. In the element, use the employee component with a self-closing tag. Now, open employees.jsx and add the toAttribute to link. Set the dynamic path in the toAttribute, employee /ID. Instead of a static ID, use e.empid dynamically. Now, test in the browser. Clicking each employee link should navigate to dynamic route. You can see that clicking on each employee link navigates to the dynamic employee route. Now, on each dynamic route, we want to display the employee's ID. We will use useparams from React Router to get the ID from the URL. Create a constant named params to access the dynamic route parameters. Assign useparams to the params constant. This will give you access to the dynamic ID from the URL. Inside the JSX of the employee component, display the dynamic ID using params.id. Now, test in the browser. You can see that clicking on each employee link displays the corresponding employee ID on the page. Now, we will implement a layout route. A layout route is a parent route that wraps multiple child routes and provides a common layout, like a header, sidebar, or footer, so you don't have to repeat the same layout in every component. Now, add a route with opening and closing tags instead of a self-closing tag. This will act as the layout route that can wrap child routes. In the routes element, place the header component using a self-closing tag. Now, place the user and about routes as child routes inside the layout route. Now, test in the browser. On the employee route, the header is not showing because it is not wrapped inside the layout route. Only routes inside the layout route will display the common header. Now, open the default route in the browser. The default route is also not inside the layout route, so the header is not showing there either. You can see that the user route is showing the header because it is inside the layout route. Now, visit the About route. You can see that the About route is also showing the header because it is inside the layout route. Now, visit the Company route. It is not showing the header because the company route is not inside the layout route. This is the complete routing setup in React. Hopefully, you now understand each routing concept, including normal routes, nested routes, dynamic routes, and layout routes. If you're passionate about learning new technologies, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tech Stack, and keep learning new skills. Thank you. And remember, consistency is the key to success.